Now, for this video, I want to recap the Backlash show that happened this past weekend and Friday Night SmackDown. Now, for the Backlash, in my opinion, I would have more than 5 matches. I don't know why we're only stuck with 5 matches. I don't know why Jey Uso and Logan Paul, that match was canceled, right? And there was no real reasoning behind it, right? Or unless I missed it, right? Like, Adam Pearce didn't talk about it. Nick Aldis didn't talk about it. Jey Uso didn't come out there, have a promo, and say, Logan Paul is scared of me. He doesn't want to show up. None of that. We just hear that the match is canceled, right? Like, oh, honestly, I didn't even hear it. I had to search it up. But, yeah, no Jey Uso, no Logan Paul match. And that's just horrible booking. That's horrible storytelling. Like, why is Jey Uso even in a position of his match being canceled? Why is he even in a position where his match is canceled? Why not book him against a guy who's available? You're going to book him against Logan Paul, a guy whose fucking schedule is always going to come and cross in between. He may not show up. He may not show up there. Can you please write a story with Jey Uso, with the superstar who's in WWE consistently? Now, let's dive into the Backlash show. We start with the opener. We have the U.S. title match with Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, and Damian Priest. Now, altogether, this was a great match. I mean, there was a crazy spot where they say Drew McIntyre got hurt. But I swear, they say this every fucking week with Drew McIntyre. You know, he's really good at selling an injury. If it is a head injury, you know, I hope everything's okay, because Drew McIntyre is probably my favorite wrestler at this point. But it was a good match, right? Jacob Fatu ended up getting the win because there was a debut of a guy named Jeff fucking Cobb. Now, for someone like me, I don't know who the fuck Jeff Cobb is, right? So maybe a little vignette, a little promo, something for me to be introduced to this character. But no, you know, anything that takes a little bit of more time, a little time out of their day, they're not going to do it. So yeah, this random guy who looks like a smaller version of Solo Sikoa comes out, basically saves the day, wins Jacob Fatu, or helps Jacob Fatu get the win. And yeah, Jeff Cobb. I mean, I don't know how to feel about it. Right? Like, we're constantly bringing more guys in, and they're in the front and center. They're in the front and center of the storyline, right? This is going to be the main storyline of SmackDown or Raw, whatever show they're going to be on. This is going to be the main storyline. Oh, I think it's going to be SmackDown, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But, yeah, this is the main storyline now, right? You look at every new guy they sign, they're taken care of more than the people who are brought up through the WWE system. They are. Right? You look at Jacob Fatu, he came in, and literally 5 months later, he's a champion. 5 months later, he's one of the biggest baby faces. If the same thing happens to Jeff Cobb, you might as well fire Solo Sikoa. Because Solo Sikoa, at this point, needs to be almost equivalent to Jacob Fatu. Right? If Jeff Cobb becomes equivalent to Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa stays where he's at, like, what is the point of having Solo? What is the point of this whole bloodline shit? It's supposed to elevate Solo, not make him lower. Not for him to elevate. Like, it seems like he's like a Paul Heyman. It seems like Solo Sikoa is Paul Heyman. They give him a young guy, or not even a young guy, they give him a guy to mold, and then they become more over than him. They become a superstar. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know, man. But yeah, Jeff Cobb debut. We'll see what happens. I mean, it was a great match altogether. Now let's dive into the next match. We have Laura Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. Now, it was a decent match. They have Laura Valkyria winning on a roll-up. I'm not a fan of on roll-ups, especially on a pay-per-view. But yeah, she won off a roll-up, and at the end, Becky Lynch was mad. She started putting her in a submission. Everyone had to come out, so they had to break them up. I would give it a C. I wasn't that drawn in by this match. Honestly, it was forgettable. So yeah, I'll give that a C. Next, we have Dominic Mysterio versus Penta. Now, Dominic did this one move, and people were freaking out. Can we stop? Like, Dominic is not a little kid anymore, right? He should be able to do these moves. He is in the WWE. He is a mid-card champion. And I'm not going to lie, some people may get mad. Dominic Mysterio, in my opinion, is almost equivalent to Jey Uso when it comes to in-ring ability, right? When it comes to character work, they're probably similar as well. Or I would say Dom's a little better, but like it really isn't that far off. But yeah, this match was okay. Penta ended up losing because El Grande Americano, what's his name? Chad Gable comes in, headbutts him, and Dominic Mysterio frog splashes and gets the win. Pretty boring. I don't like the ending at all. Many of these matches, the ending was not great. Now, next match, we have Pat McAfee versus Gunther. Now, this match was a snooze fest. Like, I'm going to be honest. I did not watch this match. I skipped through this match. I could not. I'm not watching Pat McAfee wrestle. I'm not watching Gunther wrestle Pat McAfee. You know, like, where's the story? Oh, yeah, you choked out Pat McAfee one day, and he wants his rematch. That's the story. Okay. Now, in my opinion, the story wasn't good enough to see Pat McAfee wrestle. You know, like, if the story was great, then I would be like, yes, Pat McAfee match was really smart to do. But the story was just very one-noted, right? It was one note, one story, one line. It was just boring. So, yeah, the match was boring as well. Not a fan at all. Gunther ended up winning the match. I'm pretty sure they shook hands at the end to show some respect. But, yeah, not a great match at all. Now, for the main event, I was very surprised and very shocked. This match was great. John Cena versus Randy Orton. Probably the best match of the night, in my opinion. And to be honest, I knew John Cena was going to win. I did not think Randy Orton was going to win at any point of time. But the crowd reaction, mostly because it was in St. Louis, so they're going to be behind Randy Orton and really care about what's happening in that ring. But the crowd was just amazing. And what John Cena and Randy Orton are able to do, these guys are legends. These guys know how to put on a really good match, right? And know how to help the crowd. Not help the crowd, but know how to bring the crowd into the match. And that's what I felt. And I think, John Cena winning. The ending, R-Truth coming in, I don't know. I think the story in general would be more interesting if R-Truth was shown throughout the week, of him wanting to team up with John Cena, or him wanting to not become heel, but him understanding that John Cena turned heel, right? Not him not knowing that. Like, I don't know. I guess I get that it could be funny for some people, but I feel like I've seen this R-Truth for so long that it's like, it's not funny anymore. It's more just annoying. But I understand that some people like this R-Truth and don't mind him being like this forever, But yeah, in my opinion, I would have liked R-Truth not turning heel, but maybe getting more of an edge to his character, right? Bringing some sort of edge to his character and him wanting to appeal to a healer side. Because when R-Truth was heel, when I just remember him smoking that cigarette, I'm pretty sure it was like John Morrison he was beating up, but those visuals, I want that again. But I don't think we're going to get it, but that would just be dope. R-Truth and John Cena. Yes, they're both older, but it's something different, right? It's like a side plot that you can have while we're waiting for Cody Rhodes to return, right? Because I feel like that's what they're waiting for. Even though I really don't want Cody Rhodes to be the guy to beat John Cena, that's probably going to happen. Like, if we're thinking logical, they're probably waiting for Cody Rhodes to become that guy to beat John Cena. So, why not have some side stories? Why not have some filler episodes? You know what I mean? Because they're going to do it no matter what, but it's going to be filler and boring as fuck. You might as well make that filler fun. Make the filler fun, man. Right? That's just an option there. But, let me talk about SmackDown real quick, because I didn't get to review the SmackDown show, because honestly, I forgot Backlash was that weekend. And I'm not reviewing the whole show. I just have some notes that I want to talk about. And I want to start by talking about the Street Profits. They ended up losing a match on SmackDown against Fraxium, a recently called up NXT team, while they're champions, right? I don't care what match it is. A champion should never lose a match, even if the championship is not on the line. They should not lose, because it makes these championships not matter. It makes the champions look weak. Street Profits look weak now. I don't care if you're hurt. I watched Cody Rhodes limp and beat the whole Judgment Day up. Cody Rhodes had one leg, and he beat up all of Judgment Day. So people are like, well, Street Profits were hurt, so it makes sense of them losing the Fraxium. No, it does not. Like I said, I've watched Cody Rhodes limp across the ring, beating up 5 people. I've watched that. And it's pretty recent, right? That's in my recent memory of Cody Rhodes, right? So you were telling me that Street Profits can't beat a recently called up NXT team? Bro, that's like Cody Rhodes losing to Carmelo Hayes when Carmelo Hayes got called up. And I like how Triple H is at least trying to prop up the Fraxium as a tag team. But you don't have to do that by devaluing the Street Profits, by putting them down, by devaluing their title reign. That's basically what just happened. Why not have Fraxium have a match against DIY or have a match against Pretty Deadly? But I would do DIY, and if they beat DIY, that still has the same result. They're beating a tag team champion, well, they were the champions, right? They're beating a former tag team champion. They're still hurt from the TLC match, too. They were in it as well. But it's not hurting your champions, right? It's not devaluing your champions. They were former champions. They're no longer champions, so they can take this pin. They can take the loss. But you're still making the DIY look strong by beating them up. They literally beat up Fraxium and the Motor Shitty Machine Guns in the backstage. So that's what I have a problem with. This is Triple H trying to make the DIY look tough, trying to make them look cool. I see what Triple H is trying to do. I see what he's trying to do here. It's okay. It's not going to work. DIY is still a boring-ass fucking tag team. They need to add something. They got to add Candice LeRae in that shit. I don't know. Add a girl in there. Do something. DIY is not working. Because you already have the Motor Shitty Machine Guns. What separates the Motor Shitty Machine Guns and DIY? What? One's bad, one's good? Is that the difference? You know? That's not going to cut it, right? You're not going to be over when there's other tag teams that are basically the same as you. Motor City Machine Guns and DIY are too similar. Just one's bad, one's good. You know what I mean? So, they got to make a change fast. Honestly, if I was DIY, I would just play the DX shit. Act like you're the DX. That would be a great gimmick. Pretend that you're the DX. Tommaso Ciampa is Triple H. Johnny Gargano's Shawn Michaels. There we go. That is your gimmick. Why not do that? That would make their tag team actually watchable, actually entertaining. They did it for like a week, I feel like, and then they stopped. But making them like a new version of the DX, I feel like would be great. Great television. That's when I'll get behind DIY. But right now, they're trying to make them look tough. They already tried to do this a while ago. It doesn't work for the DIY. But this is it for this video. I will be reviewing Monday Night Raw, which is tonight. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.